Welcome, Kasturians. Continuing our chapter 6, that is the Bhakti Sufi traditions. Today we will discuss the growth of Sufism and the various terms Silsilas, Dargah, Basharia and Besharia, and the Chishtis and their development and how they were devoted. So Chishti devotionalism, and we will see the relations of the Sufis with the state. So let's start. As we have seen that Islam, it rose to power, it became a powerful religion, but later on the division of the Islamic followers into Shias and Sunnis, it led to the decrease in the influence of Islam among the local people. So it was the Sufis, which were a group of religious minded people within the Islamic followers, and they were basically critical in following the definitions and scholastic methods of how the Quran Sharif, their holy book, was interpreted. That is how the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, which are mentioned in Quran Sharif, they were propagated, and they also emphasized the interpretation of Quran not by scholastic methods or by definitions, but by basis of personal experience, that one should personally experience what is said in Quran. So by the 11th century, the Sufism, it evolved into a well developed movement with a body of literature mentioned in Quran as well as the Sufi practices. Sufism was organized in an institution around the hospice of Kanka, and they were controlled by a teaching master which was known as Sheikh, Pir or Murshid, and he enrolled the disciples and appointed a successor along with interpreting and establishing rules for spiritual conduct and interaction between inmates as well as between lay persons and the master. So it gave to silsila meaning an unbroken chain, or simply a chain that signifies a continuous link between the master and his disciples. That is actually a unbroken spiritual genealogy to Prophet Muhammad. Sufi silsilas, they began to appear in different parts of Islamic world around the 12th and 13th century itself. Dargah, that is a tomb like shrine, which is a Persian term. So this Dargah was the place where the Sheikh, he died and buried. So the tomb shrine became the center of pilgrimage or devotion for his followers, and this encouraged the practice of pilgrimage or ziyarat to the grave of the teacher or sheikh who was visited by his murid. Murid, that is the disciples who were taught by the sheikh or pir or murshid. So the disciples or students of the sheikh, they were known as murid. So the murids, they used to go once in a year to the place where their murshid was buried, and that came to be known as Dargah. Particularly, it was more prominent on the day of the death anniversary of their sheikh. So it was believed that after death the soul of the sheikh will get united with the soul of Allah, and on the basis of the blessings which they are getting from the sheikh, they can attain material and spiritual benefits. So this is how the cult of the sheikh was developed, and it evolved as well as it reversed, and they were referred to as wali. And these Sufis, they always were controversial over the Shariat, that is the Muslim law making body. There were Sufis who were adhering with the Sharia, so they came to be known as Bashara, whereas there were Sufis who ignored the Shariat, they came to be known as Be Sharia Sufis. Now we will see the Chishti Khanqah. Basically, Khanqah, as we have earlier discussed, it was the center of social life because it was a Khanqah where the Sufism it developed, and the Sufi teachers, that is the Peer or Sheikh or Murshid, he used to live and teach his disciples or followers. So in the when we see the Chishtis, the Khanqah, it was the center of social life, and it was having several small rooms and a big hall where the inmates and visitors they lived and prayed to Allah. The Sheikh or the Peer or the Murshid, he used to live in a small room on the roof of the hall where the visitors came to meet him in the morning and evening. And also there was arrangement for an open kitchen, that is langar, which started from morning till evening, and the people from all walks of life they can come and have it. So the people from all walks of life they came to seek the blessings from the Sheikh in various matters. And the visitors they also included the poets like Amir Hassan Shishi and Amir Khusro, and the court historian of Ziauddin Barni. All these were the one of the visitors, and they wrote about the Sheikh. In the Chishti tradition, the basic practices that were adopted by the Chishtis in their Khanqah, that included the bowing of the head before the Sheikh, offering water to the visitors, shaving the heads of initiates, and yogic exercises. So these are the practices that were adopted by the Chishtis in their Khanqah. Sheikh Nizamuddin he appointed his disciple to set up the hospices in various parts of the subcontinent, and in this way they interacted and came in touch with people, and ultimately it led to popularization of Chishti practices, teachings, and also the fame of the Sheikh it increased also. When we see the pilgrimage which is called ziyarat, that is the tombs of Sufi saints, they were prevalent and they were visited by the murid, that is the disciples or followers or students of these teachers. So these murids they used to visit them. Also it was believed that the ziyarat will bring about spiritual blessings from the Sufi gurus. Then that blessing came to be known as barakat.